G'day folks, Lynx here, and welcome back to Great Tech New Horizons. Today is basically part 2 of the power and infrastructure upgrade. Basically, I wanted to get it done yesterday, but I actually spent quite a lot of time tinkering, finding more broken recipes and whatnot from the 2.8 upgrade. One that did get me was the reprecipitated platinum dust. I was wondering why my platinum line had basically gone to sleep and never woke up. Basically, reprecipitated platinum dust has changed circuits. It was a circuit 2 recipe. Now it's a circuit, or it was a circuit 2 recipe in 2.7, and appears to be a circuit 3 recipe now, and this LCR is also dead. There we go, deal with that. So basically that is, so I had to fix that. Also, another interesting behavior, this LCR was working, but I ended up having, once I got the recipe working again, it appeared to be dying from cable loss. So I don't know, because this has always been running with 2 HV energy hatches, but it appeared to be dying from cable loss. So I don't know if the recipe also changed power requirement between 2.7 and 2.8, or whether I've just been lucky all this time. Maybe, I don't know. But I couldn't be bothered doing any major work on the platinum line, so I just shoved the HV battery buffer down there and called it a day. So I wasn't... So what are you missing? Platinum concentrate needs something. So it needs... why is this not working? Oh, it's got enough... we're probably out of metallic powder. No, we have 19k of it. So I don't know why this has stopped working. Because we have enough... stuff. It's a circuit 9 recipe. Oh, it's 18 buckets of aqua regia. Oh, I wonder if we've... yes, something else that changed. So, the aqua regia is now made with hydrochloric acid, not diluted sulfuric acid. And the reprecipitated platinum dust recipe has been updated to output hydrochloric acid now. So that is something, when you upgrade to 2.8, that is something that you will need to address if you're in your platinum lines, is the fact that aqua regia now uses hydrochloric acid instead of diluted sulfuric acid. So as you can see here, hydrochloric acid and nitric acid. So the rest of the loop remains the same. It's literally just a swap. It's literally just wherever you're using diluted sulfuric acid, just swap it for hydrochloric acid. So yeah, that took me a few minutes to figure out as well. But the nice thing is that is actually a nice change, because kickstarting, because this is now not starting because I have voided some of the aqua regia. So that is actually fairly easy to fix now, because I can just grab some cells. Don't think I even need that many. Tell you what, we'll just grab 8. I think that'll do. And it is actually easier to kickstart the line back to life with hydrochloric acid, because otherwise, with diluted sulfuric acid, it's not something I have just floating around. So it is actually easier. Where is the input? Is that it? No, that's output. Ah, it's here. So I should be able to put it in here. And that should... Yeah, there we go. So that's come back to life now. So yeah, that's something I need to be probably aware of. Turn that back on. There we go. So yeah, that power failed due to having maintenance issues. But yeah, it voided some of the hydrochloric acid, so it wasn't able to. The loop wasn't able to get going again. But yeah, that's the nice thing about the change. Actually, is that I was able to just go and grab some hydrochloric acid out of the network rather than having to mess about with diluted sulfuric acid. As for the nitrobenzene setup, it's been ticking along really nicely. So we got 16,000 buckets of nitrobenzene and the backup tank of 4,000 buckets. Nice buffer in the pipes and the output hatch of the chemical plant. The only other thing I've really changed is, there's only two things I've really changed. I've added lamps to indicate when the multi-blocks need maintenance. I've set the covers to 2 maintenance issues rather than 1 because basically pretty much all these multi-blocks, with the exception of the ICOs, I think, all these multi-blocks will happily run with 2 maintenance issues, just because of the power draw. You know, like each one of these is half an amp of HV normally. This is under half an amp of IV, so it's actually pretty good. I still need to do a few more machines, but yeah. The other thing I've done is I've added a sugar electrolyzer, because the issue I was having is that these produce easily enough nitrogen to keep the ovens going, but they don't produce anywhere near enough oxygen. So I have hooked up a sugar electrolyzer. It's level emitted just like the centrifuges are. I could have just brought this across, but there's a couple of reasons I didn't do that. The first reason is this redstone line is also level emitted on nitrogen, and I didn't want this just turning on randomly. And the other thing is I just couldn't be bothered moving the power cable either. I am voiding the carbon from this because I've also got one in my main net. Now, the original setup I had, I was just macerating sugarcane into sugar, which was quite inefficient. So I used to just have an EV macerator literally sat here. I've now built this thing. So this is the dissection apparatus. This is a multi-block extractor. I think you can actually build it in HV. Yeah, I think you can build it in HV. It needs EV circuits, but all the other components are HV. And I just chose platinum item pipe casing, which gives me 32 parallels. The next tier up is osmium, which I could also do, but I don't really need to do that right now, and I couldn't really be bothered waiting for all the osmium to smelt up for the 19 pipe casings it needs. And I've replaced the sugarcane with sugar beet. So I've bred most of a field of sugar beet. I just haven't been bothered to bring. I have the crops to fill this gap. I just haven't been bothered to bring them over. And I bred that using the Open Computers crop bot. I do intend to show this in action one video, but I've had multiple attempts at trying to record this, and yeah, in the meantime, the bot was just running. So at some point, I will show it off when I need to breed another crop. But yeah, I just need to take those and move them over, and then we'll be good. But yeah, that the sugar beets output a lot of. Yeah, we're getting this draw will hold 262,000 sugar beets, which is like over 1 million sugar, because each one extracts into 8 sugar. This multi-block, so this is running at EV, and this will produce 512 sugar per second, which should be perfectly fine. And I've just got a level emitted to stop when there's 8k sugar in the network. So we've got plenty of headroom. We've got plenty enough oxygen now for the foreseeable future. I think the bottleneck now is actually going to be electrolyzers, potentially. That electrolyzer down there is still at HV. Oh, actually, that's not what I've checked. That's what I've not checked. So this electrolyzer is EV. So how fast is it? 50 buckets per second of oxygen. That's awesome. All of these put together also produce like 5.4k. 5.4 buckets per second, I think. So yeah, this should hopefully be more than enough. 50 buckets a second of oxygen should hopefully be enough. If it's not, then I'll have to figure out what I do, whether I just replace one of these, but I don't think I want to risk reducing nitrogen production, or whether I just overclock that or find somewhere else to put one, because I could technically bring it forward like 2 more blocks and just rotate it so the controllers are this way, but we'll see. For now, it's fine. In terms of power, what I've decided I'm going to do is I'm going to upgrade this line to LUV. So this is currently IV, but it is using LUV cable, because I will be able to output 10 amps of LUV, or sorry, 8 amps of LUV just on this line alone. And then I haven't decided what I'm going to do here yet, because this is being transformed up to IV, but these turbines actually don't produce a full amp of IV. So I think realistically what I will do is I will disconnect this line, because all of that over there is self-powering. So I will probably disconnect this line here and take all these turbines and just move them over here and get everything onto nitrobenzene. And then eventually I'll tear that setup down. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with this space yet. I think what I want to do is probably massively expand the biomass setup. And maybe scale up cetane boosted diesel, but I don't know. I don't know if I'll do that or not. We'll have to see. I'll definitely expand the biomass setup, but because I am using biomass to get like plastics and stuff like that. But I don't think I want to scale. I don't think I want to scale cetane boosted diesel. I'm not sure if it's worth putting in the extreme combustion engine. I don't know. I might have to ask around as to whether it's worth putting it into because the extreme combustion engine with liquid oxygen would output an amp of LV without having to worry about things like rotors and stuff like that. But we'll see. So the goal for today is we want to get the Lapotronic Supercapacitor. We want to get pyrotheum production up and running, and then at least craft a Volcanus would be the nice thing. We also want to look at. I have most of the bits for the LSC. I do need to go set down the miners on some redstone veins because I'm massively short on ruby. I've only got about half the ruby I need to make the capacitors, so I'm still up in the air as to whether or not I throw the ruby bee on. I do have the Lapotron bee, but I don't have as I mentioned, I don't have the sort of place to. I don't have the right environment for it to get the Lapotron combs, because I think that's why I'm short on ruby. It's just ruby to make Energium to make Lapotron. So, yeah. But otherwise, I've got all the bits except for the actual 9 capacitors that we need. I've got the... Oh, and I need a 64 amp energy hatch. I've got the dynamo hatch. I just need to make the 64 amp energy hatch. But it's literally the same process as making the dynamo hatch. So it's just make an energy hatch, then a 4 amp, then a 16 amp, then a 64. So... it's not really I've got most of it in auto crafting. I just don't have the 4 and 16 energy hatches in auto crafting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go away and I'm going to go set up the miners on some redstone veins. And then we'll come back and we'll get the LSC assembled. And then I've already upgraded these cables in preparation for outputting more LUV amps, because the LSC will be outputting 16 amps of LUV. So I've already, initially it will be anyway, so I've already got these upgraded to do that. And then so I've done that all the way. Actually, I don't know how far down I've done it. But yeah, the plan will be is that we will... Oh, I've only done it to here. I've done it all the way down there, but I've only done it to here. So yeah, I need to get this upgraded. So that's something I'll do while I wait for the miners as well, is to get the lines upgraded. And then I'm seeing a lot of power failing here when I do really big crafts. So I want to address that as part of this upgrade in this video. I think it is because I'm drawing... the full 4 amps of LUV from here, but it could also be that this transformer is choking, and that the 1 amp of LUV isn't enough for this whole area, because there is a lot of IV machines here now. So anyway, I'm going to go away and get Ruby, and we'll come back and we'll get the LSC built. I'll see you guys in a bit. And we're back. So I actually just realized something really awesome in 2.8. So originally I named this interface Assembler Biocircuit IV, and this is where I made a few things basically that needed the GT++ circuits, like the biocircuits and the breakthrough circuits and whatnot. But those circuits are gone now, which is really awesome. It's just the what is it, 24 GT circuits now, and the chemical plant has just been changed to use require a normal GT circuit rather than the GT++ circuits. So that's actually really good, because I didn't like having an assembler literally just for the GT++ circuits, or I think they were GT++, and I think they're actually all gone now. Yeah, they are actually all gone now. The only programmed circuit is the the biocircuit is completely gone. So that's actually really good. I only literally just noticed that now. Anyway, back on topic. We have a LSC now. So I've built it. I've got it hooked up. It is actually receiving power. I think that's because the turbines have turned on, because this battery must be running low. Yeah, it is. So I've basically hooked the LSC just up to this line for now. So this battery and this are obviously sharing lines at the moment. I don't want to hook it up to this. My original plan, which is why I put this here, was basically because I was just going to run this into the bottom of the LSC. But I've decided to put the controller on this side because all the input cables, all the input will be coming in from that way into an energy hatch, and I may have multiple inputs, so I may need multiple energy hatches. Eventually, I will flip this down when this battery buffer goes. But for now, I just really want to sort of hot swap the battery buffer to the LSC. So what I will likely do is, we're at 1.3 billion EU already. We're averaging, look at that. That's awesome. So I went with 18 capacitors instead of 9, which gives us 10.8 billion EU, because I just didn't want to upgrade it again anytime soon. What I will probably do, though, is when I get rid of this battery buffer, I can actually build nearly another 18 capacitors, actually, because each one of these, the capacitors only need one of these. So what I'll probably do is when I get rid of this, I will actually build 2 more layers on it. And that will make it pretty big. The passive loss is 62 EU per tick, so can't complain. But yeah, this is really good. This is a massive milestone in power progression, because the throughput you can get out of this is awesome. Obviously, our generation's not too bad now. So the dynamo hatch is here. We just have a single 64 amp dynamo hatch for now. So what I'll do is I'll take this transformer and put it here. Because I've not fully upgraded this line yet to be able to take the 16 amps of LUV. So for now, we'll just move this transformer up to here. But what I'm going to do for the redstone circuitry is I'm just going to shove it in front. So I have an RS latch, and I have 2 energy detector covers. So this one will be I assume I need to switch it to EU stored. So this one will be the low side, so I'll say 15%. And this one will be the high side. And I think this needs to be, let me just go check my other battery. I think the low side one needs to be inverted. Or is it, you're the low side one, aren't you? Yeah, so the low side one needs to be inverted. So we will go, I didn't mean to do that. I will probably shove a travel anchor in front of the LSC. So the low side one needs to be inverted. And then the high side one needs to be 95%. And we'll set it to that. And then basically what should happen is I should be able to do that and that. I may need to set it to a strong signal. Where are we? I may need to set it to a strong signal, so let's grab our soldering iron. Oh, actually, no, it's just not 95% full yet, but it's also not, yeah, that actually makes sense. It's not 95% full yet, so what will happen is, I don't think I even need to put that there. I think I can just put a wireless receiver directly in front of it. Sorry, a wireless transmitter directly in front of it. So if we do that, and then just... Yeah, there we go. We can just do that. So that's fine. So what should happen is it should get to... Oh, yeah, there we go. No, hang on. That's not... That can't... Oh. No, hang on. That's not right. Oh, I forgot to do something. So we need to right-click this twice with the screwdriver. So what will happen now... Actually, I think we need to rotate it. Yeah, we need to rotate it. Because... Yeah, there we go. Because what will happen now is when the signal comes out of... When the high signal comes out of here, this will turn off. And then when the low signal comes out of here, it'll turn back on. So we're not going to set this to our turbine channel just yet. Our turbine channel is 3, but we're not going to set it to that just yet. So we're going to let that fill up. Now, this is actually emptying at a rather disturbing rate. Actually, these are completely empty, so the base might actually be power failing right now. So I think what we're going to do is we're actually going to switch over. So we're going to take this and we're going to put it there. And it is currently in... Oop. And then we actually need a soft mallet to invert it, which I don't have a soft mallet in my bag. I will have one in here, though. So we grab that. No, that's a hammer. Soft mallet. So we need to invert it. So now it's 16 amps of IV into 4 amps of LUV out. We do that. And if we just quickly scan it, so that's full. And if I do that, nothing blew up. So what we can do, and then what I'll do is I'll actually just get rid of that platform underneath it. Now, the reason, I think I actually never fully explained the reason why I didn't want to build under there. This is probably going to need a lot of space underneath it, so this platform will go completely. I may still copy this. Yeah, I may still have something like this to be able to manually... That's probably why having the Y there is handy, just so I can manually turn the power generation on if needed. But yeah, basically this will... there will be a decent amount of space needed under here. There'll be lots of cables coming in and out. This is going to turn into Spaghetti Alley eventually. At least until we get wireless EU, which, I mean, I'm not even sure if I'll make it that far in the pack. It's UHV before we can get any form of wireless EU. So what we'll do is we will actually set this to transmit on the turbine channel. And we will actually disconnect. We'll actually disconnect that now. So this is charging. We're at 3.1 billion EU. There is no EU coming out. A part of me refuses to believe that that is because... Oh no, that's input, that's why. I've got it the wrong way around. That's the output. The bottom is the output. Yeah, so now there should be EU going through the cable. Yeah. Now, the slight concern I have is that I've probably power failed a lot of stuff. There was nothing doing any auto crafting or anything like that, but like the clean room, for example, it's that power. Yeah, that power failed. So turn that back on. None of these other none of these auto crafting multi-blocks would have been doing anything though, so they're all fine because I wasn't running any crafts. But some of the most of this stuff in here is still powered from this really janky oil setup, which I am going to get rid of. But there is some stuff that isn't, so that's still going, that's still going. Yeah, so these are actually... Oh no, this is powered off the janky setup, so is that. These aren't. These are powered off the main line. These are powered off the main line too. But they're single box, so it doesn't matter. So yeah, we should... So yeah, we've just hit a massive power milestone. Because now all we have to do is keep upgrading the LSC as we go. Which is absolutely awesome. Absolutely awesome. So now... I will... so now we've got the redstone circuitry for it hooked up. And we can just look at where we want to go next. So I will just quickly step away for 2 seconds. And look at where we want to go next, which I think... And I need to go and upgrade like the power lines and stuff like that. But I think we can tick this off as done. So I'll see you guys in a quick second, and we'll move on to the next thing. And we are back. So I doubled the size of the... So we're now double the size. And left it running for a bit, so now it's completely full. RSH setup's all working. And I have an information panel up and running as well. I spent more time than I'm willing to admit getting this working. I have never used the nuclear craft stuff. Sorry, the nuclear control stuff before, and yeah, I had to go look at the wiki. I had to go look at a wiki to figure out how to get the all working. I kind of just assumed you built a bunch of information panels and slapped them together. It was when I went to the wiki that I figured out that I actually needed to build panel extenders. So one of these is the real panel. That one. But yeah, so we can now see the status of our massive battery. There is a... there we go. So for the next thing on the list, I want to look at pyrotheum production. And this will probably be the last thing today, because I looked at the Volcanus, and although I'm fairly sure we can make it, there's a lot of patterns and stuff that I need to set up, and unfortunately I do need to end this video. But something that is incredibly critical to using the Volcanus is pyrotheum production. So it uses about... sorry, I'm still in creative op mode from when I was troubleshooting this bloody information panel. So if we look at this, so it uses 10 liters of pyrotheum per second. So we need a decent-ish supply of it, and it comes from stuff that we already have easily on hand. I'm not level emitting redstone. I have about 120,000 of it in the network right now, and we do get it from netherrack dust from our crops, but I'm not actually level emitting it. I do have the redstone B as well, I think. The only thing I'm level emitting for the netherrack crop, for the netherrack dust, is sulfur, because I use the sulfur to make fertilizer for the crops. So I do need to update the... If we go and have a look, I do need to update this centrifuge setup to also level emit. It's not spinning. They do that it does that every now and again. The animation just stops. But yeah, basically, we're just level emitting sulfur, and we're just effectively getting redstone as a byproduct. And if I have a look at, is redstone guaranteed from netherrack dust? No, it's a 56% chance though, so we could easily level emit on it. We could easily level emit on it. Either that, or I look at getting a redstone crop, but that would be something like Redlon or something like that. I don't want to do the IC2 redstone crop. It's rubbish, apparently. Or look at bees, because I'm fairly sure I have the redstone bee. And due to my failed experiment with the Lapotron bee, I actually have a spare. Alveary that currently has nothing in it. So we need two things to make the pyrotheum. We need a mixer, and we need a fluid extractor. So the mixer will basically make the pyrotheum dust, and then we will fluid extract it into blazing pyrotheum. Now, this effectively produces 25 seconds worth of pyrotheum, and it's 10 seconds at HV. So what we're going to do is we're going to put it into a multi-block fluid extractor and run it at EV. So so for now, we're actually just going to put it in the chemistry. Oh, I've actually got room in the chemistry area. So I would like to put them next to each other, but I'm not sure if we actually have room. Okay. Yeah, they could probably go, because the LFE is pretty big. The LFE is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's... Okay. What we'll do is we'll just cram them here for now. I do plan to redo, like, all of this area eventually. But for now, and actually have dedicated areas. So I'll probably start building off here or something like that and have, like, a massive platform just for oxygen, ammonia, basically split it out a bit more. So if we do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this will be the LFE. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this will be the LFE. Can I get EV power here, though? Yes, with some difficulty. I'll just bring the cable over from here, I guess. Bring the IV cable over and then transform down. So we'll put the LFE here, and then the mixer is much simpler, because the mixer is just 3x3. So if we... so what we want to do is basically do something like... I might just leave a bit of a gap. So the pyrotheum dust is literally only used in the fluid extractor. There's nothing else that actually uses it. So what we're going to do is we're not going to put the pyrotheum dust into the ME network. We're just going to send it directly to the fluid extractor, and then we're going to let the fluid extractor... turn it into blazing pyrotheum, and then we'll put the blazing pyrotheum into the network. So we'll do EV energy hatch in the center. So what I'll do is I'm just going to build out these two multi-blocks, because I'm sure you don't want to sit and stare at me build multi-blocks. So I'll build out these two multi-blocks, and then I will come back. Okie doke, and we are back. So I now have my two multi-blocks built, and like I said, I'm just going to buffer because the blazing pyrotheum is not used anywhere else. We're just going to buffer it. So we have a HV input bus, we have a HV output bus there, and a HV one here. So that is like 32 stacks of buffer. And then in terms of the blazing pyrotheum fluid, I have set aside a fluid cell for it. There's nowhere else in the network for it to go, so once this cell fills up, the large fluid extractor will turn off. This whole platform is very janky. This was back when I was doing a lot of passive setups, and before I had the AE network and power infrastructure that I have now. This is a very legacy platform. There will definitely be some changes to it. I think a lot of this is going to move at some point, but that'll definitely happen off camera. I'm not going to move all this around on camera. So in theory, all I need to do is quickly hook up the AE channels for... we should have plenty of channels on this cable. Yeah, we do. So, oh, we could, no, we don't want to use that. Yeah, no, we don't want to use that one. That's the main transport cable that all the P2Ps and stuff plug into. So we basically want to go where to put the hatch? There, the bus. Right, so we want to go basically like that, and then the ME output hatch. So yeah, I was thinking originally that I would level emit this, but I don't need to. I'll just let the cell fill up. I'll just let the storage cell fill up, and then we should be good. But we should. What happens if we turn it on? No valid recipe. Oh no, there we go. Hang on. What am I missing to make this work? Ah, coal. Coal dust. There we go. Yeah, look at that. That's making 7 pyrotheum dust per second. That's making... Yeah, so we're making about 761 liters per second. Each Volcanist will only consume 10 per second. And the nice thing is the Volcani aren't going to be running all the time. So this will just build up a massive buffer. And if I look here, there it is, blazing pyrotheum. So I think we'll leave it there, because I have been looking at the Volcanus, and there's still a lot of stuff I need to sort out. So I'll tell you what, actually, let's just see if I can... I might actually be able to get... We might actually be able to at least get the controller crafted. So I will just see if I can get the controller crafted, and then actually no, we'll call it here. I've just realized the time we're at 36 minutes, so I will call it here. But yeah, we've had a really good day today. So we've got our massive LSC. We're at 21.6 billion EU. So which is really stretching the legs on our nitrobenzene setup now. I actually left, because I increased the size of the capacitor bank, I wanted to manually charge it because it was only half full, but it obviously wasn't low enough to trigger the redstone to come on. So I have a lever over there that I can use to manually turn the redstone signal on and off if need be. And I kind of went away and forgot about it. A, because I got distracted by some stuff outside of game, but B, I also was playing about with that information panel, and it nearly drained the nitrobenzene. I got down to about I went from 16,000 buckets down to like 2,000. So yeah, it was running for quite a while. Our biggest bottleneck for nitrobenzene now appears to be distilled water, but that will be fixed in the very near future when we move to Dangote distillers. And then after that, the bottleneck will likely become benzene, I suspect. But yeah, so what I'm going to do sort of off camera between episodes, I may not record tomorrow. We'll see. I don't think I'll record tomorrow. But what I'm going to do between episodes is I'm going to get all of the power infrastructure, all the cabling and all that. I'm going to sort of get all that up to scratch. Get all the obviously you can see here we've not upgraded all the cabling, so get all the cabling up to snuff, and then probably look at getting this up to LUV. So rather than just passing a load of IV amps in, we'll transform up to LUV, and then carry LUV amps. Because I actually realized that this setup over here already outputs 32 amps. So I actually had to, I was pondering whether to keep these connected, but I actually had to disconnect them anyway, to not overload the cable. So yeah, we definitely need to get, so yeah, we'll get this up to LUV, and then I also need to get this I also need to replace this and get the 16 amps of LV running. 16 amps of LUV running down the output cable, because at the moment this is only taking 16 amps of IV out of the 64 amp dynamo hatch. So, and then once I've done that, I can sort of go around, increase the power budget for like this platform to stop us from power failing on larger crafts. And I'm probably going to look at getting rid of this janky oil setup. This was mainly a throwback to when I was still moving from the ocean dimension into this dimension. I kind of use this as my landing zone because I moved the bees and crops first so they could start filling up an AE network, and then obviously I built out the main tower and the main network. So this will probably go, and because I already have power up here, I have IV power up here, but I might bring LUV up here potentially and then transform it to IV up here. So yeah, we'll see, because I do use the janky oil setup to also provide power to these crop managers via combustion engines. But I could easily swap these out for gas turbines and then just use an ender tank or something, because I really don't want to run GT cable to all of these. At least not now. I know obviously at some point in the future if I ever replace these crop fields with like greenhouses or whatever, but I kind of like this setup, so I don't think I'll ever replace this. If I improve my crop setup by using greenhouses, I'll just put the greenhouses on a platform like down there somewhere. So yeah, I think we're in a really good place. I'm actually really happy. Especially after not playing for 2 months. I'm really happy that we now have our LSC, and I'm going to look at blast furnaces next, because they are definitely the bottleneck. And then after blast furnaces, I think I need to do something about this stack of assemblers, because we can make the precise assembler now, I believe. So I need to do something about these, because these are the next bottleneck after the blast furnaces. Everything else is actually relatively fast. I do still have some HV machines though, like this forming press is still HV, the wire mill is still HV, the smelter is still HV, so definitely want to get the power budget on this platform increased. But anyway, if you've made it this far, thank you very much for watching. I hope you've at least enjoyed some of the video, and I hope you have a great day, and I will see you all later.